know when we're young, we think we're going to live forever, et cetera, et cetera. But just remember out there, every comment that you put down or everywhere you go on this thing called the internet and online and things you say, those are going to outlive you. They're going to outlive all of us. And that's that's already writing the story that's going to introduce us at our eulogy and after we're gone. So think about them, because I think we often feel like they're impermanent, but they're not anymore. They're very permanent.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. What are you doing with your kids and social media? Do you have limits?
Yeah.
How are you controlling that? I can't imagine being in middle school with Instagram. That sounds like hell to me.
I mean, do children need to be that conscious? Again, that mirror, it's not necessarily a true mirror before they've actually found who they are and feel who they are and walk by a real mirror and actually go, oh, I look how I feel. I feel how I look. This is a true representation of me. What I'm putting out is reverbing and coming back to me in simpatico. Well, you get in the IG world, you're not getting that. Again, it can go inflated or it can go deflated. It can go into the asset section or the debit, but it's not usually true.
Mm-hmm.
And to put that on a child where, I still work in my work that I do, again, at 51, I've always been trying to close the gap between what is I want to do and what are you actually receiving? There's been a gap at that time in my life all the time. I do it literally in movies. What I want to do, and I'm going, that was the take. And the director goes, no, come over here and have a look. And I'll look at the monitor and go, oh, geez, that does not look like what I intended to do. Now, that either means I didn't do what I intended to do, or the camera wasn't placed in a way that it was received that way. So it wasn't a true impression. So I'm trying to close those gaps. Children today with IG and stuff, there's always a gap to the upside, to the inflated side or the debit side. And that's dangerous, tough territory to navigate when you're just trying to find yourself. I know with our kids, I don't want our children to see something in a movie or a TV show that they don't have some context of understanding how that would work in life. I don't want them to learn it for the first time through a fictional representation in someone's storytelling. I want them to understand that, oh, that's how life could be. I don't want them to see a sex scene until they understand what sex is, for instance. I don't want them to learn that and have those questions, seeing it for the first time outside of what me and their mother can try and teach them. Or I want to be the one saying, no, let's have a look at this book. This book explains it really well in a true and healthy and constructive way. That's how I want to be the first to give them that. That's hard to keep a lid on. It's a wild, wild west out there with kids, and they get online. They see something, the ads pop up. That looks good. And tapping on that does not take them where they think they wanted to go. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're down the rabbit hole. And like I said, I'm 51, I'm responsible. I have trouble with it.
Yeah. What kind of advice or what kind of suggestions do you have for teenagers trying to grow up? So in the, 17, 18, 19 year range, what kind of experiences do they have to have or choices do they have to make in order to grow up?
Great question and great challenge for all of us adults and parents out there. Now more than ever, we create something, a picture or something, and then we upload it and we send it out to the world and wait, am I going to get thumbs up, thumbs down? What are the comments going to be? And if they come in thumbs up, we have a great day. So confident, it was awesome. They come in thumbs down, whoa, we're crushed. So the kids today are so much more, I guess, what the rest of the world assumes or has to say about them or what they put out determines so much of who they are and how they see their own gratification in life. How much they respect themselves, how much they care about themselves, how much they trust themselves or not. And that's different than when I grew up, and different than the generations that grew up before me. So it's a wonderful tool, but how children and millennials can find some discernment in that to what does matter and what doesn't matter. Look, I'm 51 years old. I got a family of 3. I've got non-negotiable things that I've built in my life that I love and are much more important to me than what someone feels. But at the same time, does it feel better to me at 51 to read a good review on my book rather than a bad review? Am I happy? Yes. I'm susceptible to that. For a movie, I do. And even in that, I've learned to read something and go, oh, well, this critic was writing a bad review before he ever saw the movie. He just doesn't like me. You know what I mean? And I've learned to see that, but still, or, I'm going to now go, even if you're not in a position where I am, where of fame and celebrity, where people recognize me, children receive negative comments, or somebody says words to them. They go into the world thinking that the whole world, everyone they interact with, might be thinking that way. Our mind very quickly goes to somebody that says something negative. That's why we rubberneck, and when highways slow down to 20 miles an hour, our mind immediately goes to the lowest common denominator much quicker than the highest common denominator of someone. And it's not true. It's not a true reflection. And it's a false mirror that kids have now, that there are more false mirrors of how they see themselves and how they're seen in the world. You can get the mirror, sometimes we have the mirrors to the upside, those skinny mirrors on Beverly Hills, in Beverly Hills at the Gucci store, which make us look just slimmer and trimmer better.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
You know what I mean? And then most of the times, it's easier to go to that mirror that makes us look shorter, fatter, wider, uglier than we actually are. Well, that's how so many of these are going out and having engaged in the world based off of what somebody out there said, mostly strangers,